How would you solve the homeless crisis in America? I don't think there's just one solution. Some people need a job. Some people need treatment, alcohol and/or drug addiction. Some people are mentally ill. Some of these people would respond well to treatment or medication. And some should probably be institutionalized. Some are suffering from two or more of these problems. There already is a comprehensive solution. Utah implemented it in the 2010s. Turns out it saves the state money too. It costs less to put a roof over people's heads than to cover the emergency medical treatment, etc. From leaving them unhoused. https www.npr.org/2015/459100751/utah-reduced-chronic-homelessness-by-90%-here's-how. Edit. Utah reduced its homeless population by more than 90%. That's a point where debate becomes a matter of letting the perfect become the enemy of the good. House. Mental health intervention. Including, but not limited to, institutionalizations. Treatment plans that work. Tax Joel Osteen. You know that rule at family dinners that no one gets seconds until everyone else has had a plate? That but for houses. Make it illegal for foreign investors to buy residential properties. Make it illegal for investment firms, bankers to buy residential properties as investments. Make it prohibitively expensive from a taxation standpoint for any individual to own more than a few homes. Pretty much do everything you can to get greed and profits out of a sector that should only exist to give people a home to live in. Make slumlords extinct and treat housing as a basic right. Probably try to solve the drug and mental health crisis first. The federal government stopped funding mental institutions in the 80s. Thanks to Reagan. Then, the crisis happened. While there isn't a perfect solution, a combination of increasing mental addiction health care availability, reducing the cost of housing, and providing temporary housing, free public transportation for the homeless, and increasing the minimum wage to a livable wage would go a long way. Sufficient funding for the administration of these programs, specifically temporary housing, is necessary so that these programs are not abused. There is lots of evidence that when you home the homeless it costs everyone less. Companies are forcing workers that could be remote into offices to justify paying leasing fees or what have you. The easy solution is to let every job that can be remote, and the useless office space can be converted into different tiers of living arrangements. This could be a boon to both the homeless and the working poor. Decommoditize housing. Making sure people only buy homes to live in them. A big reason why people are homeless is because they are being priced out of the housing market. Passing public policy that invests in affordable housing or even public housing will get people off the street. It's a pretty complicated issue and everyone's situation would be different. But these are the kinds of things I think could help the situation of many homeless individuals in America. Change zoning laws to enable an increased supply of multi-dwelling units and housing density, and thus driving down prices. Increase funding for the K-12 education system in low-income areas. Increase funding for financial aid programs at colleges. Provide easier access to mental health resources. Reduce the stigma surrounding drug addiction and decriminalize the consumption of illicit drugs so that it's easier for people to seek help. Improve public transit systems to provide low-income households better mobility and a larger selection of potential jobs. Put the homeless people in homes. also need help for those just coming out of incarceration. Many times they don't have stable home and social lives and can't afford first, last and deposit. Can't get bank accounts. Can't put down current address for job applications. Become homeless. Get arrested. Cycle starts again. Build, build, build. Give everyone a sign that says home is where the heart is. If you are homeless due to loss of job, injury, medical, etc., it's complicated. But I only want to address mentally ill. I believe the severely mentally need to be swept up and taken to a facility. Can't leave until they either are better or forever. I live in NYC and I'm tired of dealing with all the crazy mentally ill people. Especially in the subway system. New York needs to get them off the streets and institutionalize many of them. Only tough love will make a difference in helping them. Reinvest and heavily into mental health facilities. Residential, inpatient, outpatient and transitional. It has to be accessible and affordable. Invest heavily into substance abuse treatment facilities. Residential, inpatient, outpatient and transitional, often closely related to mental health. This must be accessible and affordable. This would also begin to reduce the jail, prison populations, as many are directly related to substance abuse and undiagnosed or untreated mental health disorders. Invest in trades and jobs programs, trade work, apprenticeships for housing and basic groceries and utilities, as they get back onto their feet and slowly transition from social services to independence. Invest in before-school work, after-school work, daycare programs for working and recovering mothers and their children. Get the kids in a positive direction with strong supports early and often. Realize the system was annihilated by Reagan in the 80s. So positive change won't happen overnight. But if done well, investing into our people can be a direct investment into our communities. And can have a direct correlation to reduced homelessness, substance abuse and crime rates related to homelessness and substance abuse related to unaddressed mental health needs.